It's gonna be hilarious. All right. You gotta do it first take though. I'm not gonna say welcome back, but welcome to our very first episode of God's Kids. My name is Brian, and that over there is that's Devon.
And I'm Devon. And we back, baby.
Why did you jump like that in the chair?
It'd be boring. It'd be boring if we just came and like already sitting down.
But like, I'm trying to understand like your process and your thinking of wanting to do that.
Spice it up.
I just want to let you know I'm keeping all of that in.
Good.
Like the whole beforehand.
Good.
Like,
you got all those
Jibber
boring
grabber.
podcasts where everyone's already sitting there. They're already nice. They're already like all comfy and just like, welcome back to another episode of podcast name. We're not. We're sparking it. We're spicing it.
yeah.
How many other podcasts sit there and have people jump in on the chair?
I'm pretty sure there's some out there. I don't know the names.
Exactly.
I mean,
This one you're gonna know the name of.
true.
So, but we're not back. But we're new.
We are new. We used to do something else beforehand. If you remember, shout out to you.
If you know, you know.
If you know, you know. It's not like that we like can't not mention it. But we kind of just started doing our own thing now.
Now we're not tied down.
We're not. It's not necessarily like we were tied down before. It's just like we just want to do our own thing now and have. I wouldn't say control, but yeah, no.
Something like that. But now we got something new, something cool, and something even better than before.
Yeah, man, and we're pretty much gonna use this platform to just like talk about the Lord and just our experiences in churches and being God's kids. I think some of the vision behind God's Kids is just letting people know that we are the children of God and that it's okay to not be perfect. Like, we're not perfect.
No.
I don't think anybody in the world is perfect, and we can all. That's common sense. If you think you're perfect, then you might want to do a deep little heart check right here.
You better
Your
humble
heart.
yourself.
Your heart's right here, right? Yeah. I'm tripping.
Right side, baby, right side. There are some people with it on the left, but
Right here.
yeah, down, right. Down to your left. I don't know.
Oh well.
I didn't pay attention in biology.
Well, you should have. Well, I guess today we're just gonna kind of do like a little introduction to each of us, and pretty much just like our testimony and how like we've gotten to this stage in our life.
How did we get to here?
Like right now, like through everything you've been through, like everything, like just take us to a journey of like who each of us are, and we'll kind of even bring something back of like give our like first impressions of each other, like, and how we even became friends.
Oh man, we going that far back.
Yeah, like, I mean, I think the reason why I go far back is because one, obviously our friends and family are gonna be watching this, but there's gonna be new people that are watching us, people that may not know you or me or both of us, like, you know.
Out on the YouTubes.
Warning now, we're very cringy, very sarcastic,
Of course.
but we love the Lord. And shout out to OBS for putting up the little thumb every time I do a thumb gesture, but it doesn't work every time for some reason.
I wanted to keep it in, so if you don't like it, blame me.
Well, let's start with you, Devon. Oh, sorry. This is gonna be our form of how we do this podcast. If you're watching video, we're definitely gonna use this little movement AI type joint camera that like swivels. It's like robotic.
It's a OBS product.
Yes. So
Shout out to OBS.
it's fire. I like
Sponsor.
it.
We need the sponsor for the camera.
Question: did OBS make this camera? Because I thought
It's an OBS camera.
but it was just like a software though.
No, it's an OBS. That camera we are using is an OBS camera.
But why OBS don't sell OBS on their website then?
I
Got you there.
thought we did.
No.
Oh, I don't know.
OBS, it's like some like open source thing. I don't know, but anyway.
That's the best kind of source, so that way it's not closed.
Devin, why don't you start us off?
I love the Zoom.
Huh?
It's so beautiful. It gets everything about. So my name is Devon, not saying the last name for legal reasons. I
You
am
just say for legal reasons.
yeah.
That's so funny.
Can't be finding me, but you can probably find me on Facebook if you look hard enough. Not that I use Facebook. I have it downloaded, but because that guy told me to.
Yeah, he ain't got a choice no more to
don't
be
have
off
a
social
choice
media. He could be off social media, but
But I am 23. Can we say we're in Florida? We'll say that much. We are in Florida. So that way you don't get it twisted thinking we're some weird state like Ohio or something.
no, if you follow me, I've definitely told you where I'm from. But
Yeah. But we're in Florida and 23, Florida. I currently started a new job, like literally this week. I'm not gonna say where it is. It is IT. I'm not solving your computer problems for you though. That you have to pay me for. But
I mean, if for a reasonable price.
yeah. But I'm married to my beautiful wife Rachel, which you will hear me bring her up because the both of us together are crazy and stupid, crazy stupid.
Facts.
But I like to think that I'm better set up than most people my age, only because I feel like to a degree I have a little bit of life figured out. Married, have a house. Like I have a house in my name, owned, married, all that kind of stuff. So, but I've been in Florida all my life. I lived with my parents until I got married and moved out. That was in 2021. I'm gonna say a lot because there's no real way to do an introduction through the process. I've worked at schools, I've worked at manufacturing in the corporate scene, I've worked at multiple churches. We're currently at a church in Fort Pierce, which is beautiful, and we'll have to see if we can get them to be a sponsor.
I think it's so funny that you said, I'm not going to tell them where we're from in Florida, but I'm going to tell them what church we go to
I didn't tell them what church.
in Florida.
I didn't tell them what church. I
You
said
told
sponsor.
them where, though.
Oh well, that's okay. I don't live at the church, so that's fine. That's where you can find us every Sunday, 10:30.
You didn't even tell them where.
That's later on.
I hate you.
Suspense. You got to look into it more.
There's
I mean, you
no
just have to watch the next episode to see if we get sponsored or not.
If we get sponsored by our own church.
That'd be funny. I got married in 2021 to my beautiful wife. We have no kids. In the words of Andy Mineo right now, we just practicing.
That's wild.
I love to bring that up.
Can I just say Devin has like 3 cats?
No, 4. We have 2 cats that are at least 7, 8 years old that we got from my wife's parents. And now we have 2
Shout out to the
kittens
trucks in the back.
that are less than like, I think they're like 8 weeks or something, 9 weeks, 10
Oh, wait,
weeks.
hold on. I'm sorry. Listen, I had a breakthrough.
Oh.
So, one, my mentor, Jay, we'll have him on the podcast later. But I'm starting to warm up to cats now. I don't like cats.
Hallelujah, God.
I will never own one. They smell. They're demons. And they don't deserve. And it's so crazy that this thumbs up keep working. But I don't like cats. But recently, I would go over to my brother's house, right? All the time. And I make my brother put his cat in the room. And while I'm there, the cat does not come out of the room because I have like deathly anxiety when I'm around them. But there's times where I've been at Dre's house and his cat will be around. But I think it's because the one night I house sitted for them, I had to feed their cat and be around their cat and the dog, even though I use the dog as like a protection. Not kidding, by the way. I literally use. I'd be like, yo, Blue, come here. And Blue would be sitting next to me, and the cat would just not come near me. But anyway, so I got used to the cat there. So then, like, I would go over there and not have to, like, be like dodging the cat. But at my brother's house recently, my brother just let the cat out, and he's like, you're gonna have to get used to it at some point. I'm like, no, no, I don't. But anyway, yeah, I'm not deathly afraid of cats anymore. But I do think they should not exist.
Oh my gosh.
Hopefully there's no cats in heaven. Back to you, Devon.
That's crazy. That's wild. I don't even remember where I was.
Oh well, I'll lead you in.
Dang, that's crazy.
When did you actually like fully devote your life to God? Like, not like the first time you heard about God, but like, when did you like actually decide to start like walking in a relationship with God? And I'll answer too.
Well, my parents went to church when they were my age, and then when I was born, they stopped going because they had multiple jobs, each of them, and they couldn't really get the time to do it. And so I didn't really grow up in church until I went to church a couple of times with like my grandma when I was like 12 and stuff like that. And then when I got into 11th grade, so this is like 2018, I was 17 at the time, and I helped out at a summer camp at a church. And I mean, for me, it was just something to do to get out of the house, a little bit of money. And from there, that's where I started slowly to be like, okay, this God thing is kind of cool. Not really like, going full into it. And then I would say I didn't really start until probably after I graduated high school in 2019, like that summer after going into like August of 2019, when I started working at the school that I graduated from. That's kind of like where it slowly started to go. And everyone's gonna have those hiccups, everyone's gonna have those bumps. I think I stopped for a little bit after I left the school. There's like a period for like a year and a half where I didn't really do anything. I was just going life as usual, go to work, go home, sleep, go to work, go home. So really following, I would say probably 2-3 years. No. Yeah, 2-3 years. Something like that, where I was like, had the mindset of like, you know what? It's all or nothing. Why not? I mean, what's the worst? So, and since there, it's definitely helped me grow to who I am today. I'm not saying it's the only reason. It's a really big reason, but it's not the only reason that I've grown to be where I am now. I would say being married has definitely changed and rocked my boat on how I used to go, because I used to literally just go home, play games until I fell asleep, and then wake up, go to work, go home, play games until I fell asleep. But I think marriage has kind of opened my eyes, and it showed me a different kind of love, because, you know, before everyone thinks it's just like that you just have to, you know, constantly be talking to somebody, and you have to constantly do this and do this and do this and do this, which is great and all, but I think we show love in different ways. And so like me and my wife, we found out that what's it called? I want to say it's spending time, but there's like a word for it, where we don't have to be talking to each other. We don't have to be, you know, like all wrapped up and everything, but just sitting in the same room on the same couch, or, you know, spending time in the room together is our way of, you know, that's our way of spending time, because she has stuff that she needs to do, like schooling and all that kind of stuff. And then I have stuff to do, especially now with my job. I have to do some things like outside of work at home. So we it's definitely changed how I am. But going back to the original question 20 minutes ago, I would say probably 2 or 3 years where I was like, okay, I need to, you know, if I want to set my family on the right path, if I want to be the example that I'm supposed to be, I gotta like hunker down and actually look into it. Now, I'm not perfect. I will be the first one to tell you, I don't do it every day. You know, I'll, on my way into work, I'll pray in the car, I'll have a conversation, I'll sit there, I'll talk to God, I'll have music in the background, turn it down, I'll talk to him, because my best way of conversation is thinking that he's in the passenger seat with me. No matter how crazy I drive, no matter how hard I hit the brakes, he's right there. He's always there. So that's how I see it. And I try to, especially at my new place of work, which I will say it's a school, it's IT at a school. I try to be, you know, the light that's brand new in the space. Walk down with a smile. Every single person, teacher, student, if they make eye contact with me, I give them a big old smile. So that's kind of my mindset. My wire fell down. Hold on, I gotta pop it out so you guys can see it. I think that's me. That's me in a nutshell. If you don't know me, my name Devon, and I got some pretty sick dance moves.
You got some pretty what?
I got sick dance moves, bro. Watch me hit the gritty. No, I'm not doing that.
So you gonna do it for?
No, I'm not doing it. Switch it over.
You gotta do it for. You gotta
switch
do it
it
for
over.
TikTok.
Switch it over there.
You gotta do it for TikTok.
No, I ain't doing it for TikTok.
Okay, fine.
I ain't doing that for TikTok.
We're gonna do it after. If I gotta bribe you, I don't know. I ain't got no money, but I'll bribe you with something. Oh. Well, I'm Brian, and yeah, that's it.
Tune in next week.
Could you imagine? That'd be so crazy. No, I'm Brian, and I feel like I'm at an AA meeting. Hi, my name is Brian, and I'm addicted to eating Mike and Ike's.
Ooh.
Even though they're so chewy and they get annoying to eat, but I still love them. Yeah, so don't shake your head at me. Why is the camera blurry? There we go.
Oh well.
Yeah. So I pretty much grew up kind of like in church, I would say. Probably when I was like in kindergarten. I started really going to church. Well, my mom made me go to church. I grew up kind of like, I was like shy, but like you get to know me. Like I would probably say no. Let me take that back. In elementary school, I was horrible, especially like kindergarten. In kindergarten, I was probably the worst kid ever. I got written up daily, if not, yeah, daily. I would say daily, maybe weekly, but it was pretty often. But anyway, that's too far back. You're fine.
We going all the way
We
back.
going all the way back to when I was coming out the womb.
Oh my gosh.
Nah, but I'll have to say, to answer the question I asked Devon, just like Devon, I've worked out of school for many years. Me and Devon actually went to the same school, graduated from the same school. Devon graduated 2 years after me, or a year after me.
What year did you graduate?
2017.
I was 19.
So 2 years. But me and Devon became friends over while we were working at the summer camp that he mentioned.
Man, we became friends because I threw a pair of scissors at you.
Huh?
We became friends because I threw a pair of scissors at you.
True. He threw scissors at me, and I was like, "This white kid crazy." And
That was a good throw. It was about 25, 30 yards.
it really was. Like, I don't understand why you would throw scissors at me in the first place.
Like by the blade. Like throwing knife in Call of Duty.
But yeah, so I lost my train of thought.
Add me as an operator in Call of Duty Black Ops 6.
No. But from there, I was pretty much when I was 14, I took like, no, lies. When I was 11, I took like a role of being a kind of like helping with sound for kids church and like presentations, and that's how I met my mentor now. And my mentor became my youth pastor, and then from there I just started to get more involved in like kids and youth, like doing like the behind the scenes. I got kind of involved more when I became 14. My senior pastor at the time, he kind of just like, "Hey, do you know how to run a lighting board?" And I was like, "No." He's like, "Well, go figure it out." And I was like, "Huh?" And it was up from there. So then I just learned everything pretty much in church, in like a church setting. So like everything I knew up until I was probably about 20, 21, I pretty much knew doing in a church setting or a school environment, because that's just where I worked and pretty much all I knew. So like being around church kind of always just, I always just like, I said the quote unquote like, you know, salvation prayer when I was 11.
Quote unquote.
The reason why I say that, I'll explain later. But you know how like when you grow up and like you just become like more you just start to really go deep into like the things you were taught in the church as a teen or even like a kid, and even like a younger, like we're still young adults, but like even like 2-3 years ago, and you're just like breaking down things that like weren't really taught properly, like the salvation prayer is not a real thing. But
That's crazy.
In Romans 10:9, it says, if you believe in your heart, I might be wrong in the scripture. It says, if you believe in your heart and you confess with your mouth that Jesus is Lord, you will be saved.
Okay.
That's it.
That's it.
That's how you get saved. Not, I got to say a prayer, then I got to go do a bunch of membership classes and a bunch of next step classes. No. All that stuff is great. Right? It's great. But as far as like the salvation, like that's not necessary. And how I kind of like came to the conclusion of like really understanding that is at our last church, and even now at this church that we're in, they never did like an altar call where like in a sense of like, if you want to dedicate your life to Jesus today, raise your hand. We'll say a simple prayer real quick with everybody, and then we're out. I haven't seen that done in like since like 2022. Like when at the church we went to before, like 2 churches ago. But like the salvation prayer is not like, that's just something a part of the Western church. It's not something that's like, you don't have to say a prayer, because what if you say that prayer but you don't believe it, or your heart really doesn't believe that prayer? Like it's just like an in the moment thing.
Yeah, I think it the way that I was always taught growing up was that as long as you say that prayer, you're good to go. You don't need to do anything else. As long as you say that, you're good to go. Everything else afterwards, you're fine. But recently, well, I shouldn't really say recently, but the last couple of years, it's definitely, my mindset has changed to where it's not so much as just saying a prayer. It's more of thinking of it as a relationship, which wasn't something that I heard months and months and months, but like it wasn't something I heard before. And it was the way that my old pastor, not the same pastor he's talking about, but my old pastor said that it's more of a relationship with God. It's not like a big authoritative, like somebody that's going to keep you in line or whatever. It's a relationship. It's a son to a father, a daughter to a father kind of relationship, to where it has that more loving connection. And once I started thinking about it as that, it made so much more sense. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of examples where, you know, God put his foot down and was like, you guys aren't going to do that, and I'll show you why. But there's also tons of things where God is, you know, you did this thing, that's okay. I'm not going to change how I love you. Because we are made from, you know, we are in God's image, the perfect image that he wanted for us. We are who we are for a reason, and it's not going to change anything. So,
yeah. And so, sorry, we're getting off topic, but I think it's for a reason. But in Romans 10, verse 8 through 10, I'm sorry, yeah, through 10. I'm sorry, we're going to go to 13. I lied. It says, on the contrary, what does it say? The message is near you, in your mouth and in your heart. This is the message of faith that we proclaim. If you confess with your mouth Jesus is Lord and believe in your heart that God raised him from the dead, you will be saved. One believes with the heart, resulting in righteousness, and one confesses with the mouth, resulting in salvation. For the scripture says, everyone who believes on him will not be put to shame, since there is no distinction between Jew and Greek, because the same Lord of all richly blesses all who call on him. For everyone who calls on the name of the Lord will be saved. You don't have to pray that. It's almost like a moment of encounter you have to have. It's not just, I don't know where people got this thing from, like where, you know, I honestly never done like the research of like when people started doing like a salvation prayer and things like that, but I don't know. I think we blow it up more because it's all about like this. I saw a video. This one pastor said, he was basically like boasting himself of like, you know, you may have. He's like nobody has more no more salvation numbers than I got. I'm like, why does that? Yes, like us spreading the word and talking to people and, you know, getting people to know about God and, you know, yeah, that's great. But we're called to plant seeds into people, meaning I'm not going to force someone to follow Jesus. I'm not going to stand up. I might stand up on a stage or on this platform and confess my love for Jesus and talk about him and encourage you and stuff. But I'm not gonna be able to be like, if you don't follow Jesus today, you're gonna go to hell. If you don't do this, like, as though that may be true. I heard a pastor say one time. They said, why do we focus so much on telling non-believers the bad news of Jesus and not the good news? Meaning, why do we always tell the non-believers, if you don't believe in Jesus, if you don't give your life to Jesus, you're going to go to hell? Rather than, okay, here's how God loves. God loved you so much, he died for your sins. He loved you so much that even though you don't know it, he stood there, he's still walking there, like he's waiting for you. We tell that to the believers. We don't tell that to the non-believers. There's more people that are so worried about people going to hell rather than like now. Like me and my brother had a conversation on the other day. It's just like, let's stop worrying so much about the future and tomorrow and the past. What's happening now? What's happening present moment? What's happening present moment is way more important than what's going to happen in the future.
Definitely. I used this example on the last podcast that we started, but if you get so caught up on what happened before, if you get so caught up on what's gonna happen in the future, you miss all the amazing opportunities and all the amazing things in your life that God's placed in your life now. Like, if I was so worried about, you know, oh my gosh, how am I gonna pay this bill in, you know, 3 months, you're gonna miss all the opportunities that you have now where it's like, oh, you know what, I'm gonna let God handle the finances. I'm not gonna worry about, you know, I'm not gonna penny pinch. I'm gonna enjoy my life with the things that God has given me. Now, I mean, I'm not saying bills aren't important, because they're very important. We keep the lights on, you know, you keep your house, but at least that's how I am. Like, I see money as a number in a bank account. If I have tons of it, if I have none of it, I'm gonna enjoy life how I want to enjoy it. Me and my wife are gonna go on super long car rides. I mean, heck, what was it? My wife had gotten back, this is like weeks ago. My wife had gotten back home on like a Friday night or something at like 10:30 at night. I forgot what she was doing, but I was just at home and she was like, you know what, I'm hungry. I said, okay, let's go get something. So we drive probably 15-20 minutes away to go to Popeyes. And we get there.
That's not that far.
Well, let me get on.
Oh, okay,
so we leave the house 11 o'clock and get there 11:20. And we order and we get up to the window and everything, and they're like, oh, well, we only have enough for one sandwich. So I said, okay, well, make my wife a sandwich. I'll figure something out. We get her food and everything. We go to the Taco Bell across the street. By that time, it's like 11:35, something like that. And so we sit in the Taco Bell parking lot, eat food and everything. And this is us spending this is a way of us spending our time together, instead of just me on my computer playing video games until 2 o'clock in the morning. Then we go, this is before I got my job at the school. And then we go and we drive, all the way to where the school is, which is an extra 15-20 minutes away. drive past the school and everything. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to work there. And then we drive home. By the time we get home, it's like 1:00 at night. So if I was to bring this all back into the, past, future, all that, not worrying about things. If I was too locked into where oh, I can't really be wasting this gas, and I don't, I want to continue doing what I want to do, and I want to sit here and lay in bed and just watch TV because this is my favorite show or my favorite video, then I would have lost that, 2 hours or whatever it was that I could have spent, growing my relationship with my wife, because we've been married almost 3 years. It's 2 years and 10 months or something like that. 2 years and 11 months, somewhere around there. And I will 100% say we're still figuring each other out. Because we still have hiccups where it's, time management. I want to do my thing. She wants to do her things. And sometimes it gets in the way. I have no problem sitting there for 12 hours a day playing games on a computer. I'm still young. I don't mind doing that. I can keep myself entertained. But she has schoolwork to do. So we try to balance it. Sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes I'll be, for example, a normal Saturday, she'll work Friday night and she won't get home until 6-7 o'clock. She works overnights. So I'll wake up, I'll see her, love you too. I'll make sure she gets what she needs breakfast wise, anything like that. She'll go to sleep. And then I'll go and I'll play games until, she wakes up at 2-3 o'clock or whatever it is. And then we'll spend some time together. But sometimes it'll be, oh, well, I missed, I have to do the schoolwork that's due today. I say, okay, go do your schoolwork and because the stuff I tend to watch, she gets distracted by. If I was to watch YouTube or a movie or anything like that, she'll get distracted and she won't pay attention to her schoolwork and she'll just be more focused on that.
So how does she deal with you when you play FIFA and she's doing schoolwork?
That's a different story. I'm very into it.
This is a public service announcement, real quick. Look here. When Devon plays FIFA, he's a whole different person.
Don't play competitive games.
Don't play any competitive games with Devon.
No,
Devon will he's a whole different person. He's not very how can I say this?
I'm not very godly.
No.
So I do have an excuse. It's called coping, where
when Devon gets mad, he plays FIFA so he can take all his frustration out on FIFA guys.
Bro, I feel so much better afterwards though. Once I sit back, I feel so rejuvenated.
Do you?
Most of the time, some of the time. Not any of the time I don't.
But just to kind of reel it really back in.
But yeah, that's how I see it. Don't focus on the future. Don't focus on the past. What's happening now is a gift. What's happening now is for a reason. Because sometimes what's happening now is only a one-time thing. Like me going home from here and trying to decide whether I stop and get Taco Bell or Wendy's, that's going to happen over and over and over again. But me deciding to go home and instead go get my wife and spend time with her doing, going out to eat, going to the beach or whatever, sometimes it's not going to happen as much as stopping to get a Lux Cravings box with a chalupa and a soft shell taco instead of a hard shell with no sour cream on anything and a large Baja Blast.
Well,
can't forget the stackers. Hey man, when it comes to Taco Bell, I'm fat. I am. You know what? I went to McDonald's the other day. I got the new chicken Big Mac. I got 4 chicken patties on that thing with extra mac sauce.
so you basically just got 4 big chicken nuggets.
I got 4 big chicken nuggets
Can we
with
talk
3
about how
buns.
the Big Mac really is? The chicken Big Mac is just a chicken nugget.
So good.
It's really not.
The mac sauce with the chicken.
It's really not.
It
You know, you
does
can
something.
order a side of mac sauce with the.
It does something inside of me, and it tastes so good.
I keep looking up there, like that's the camera, but it's right here.
There's your TikTok clip.
I don't want it to be a clip, but I'll probably make it a clip anyway.
Hey man, chicken Big Mac.
But
Well, while we're on food, Wendy's Krabby Patty, such a scam. It's a normal Wendy's sandwich.
I think that's what it was supposed.
Tell you what though, that pineapple, the frosty pineapple,
can't.
that thing's so good.
I can't do pineapple, bro.
That thing, like, it's vanilla, but then once you get, like, it's like swirled in layers. Once you get down to the pineapple layer, and then you go back to the vanilla. I'm just a vanilla guy.
They can keep that.
I love vanilla. I'm not a chocolate boy.
I prefer vanilla ice cream. I prefer white chocolate.
Yeah, I'm not a chocolate guy.
You know, a chocolate guy.
I can eat
What
a
about
chocolate
like the
bar.
Linder? You know, like the Linder balls. You know what I'm talking about? The ones with the cream in the middle.
I can't. No.
They're just so good. Like, you gotta put them in the freezer though. And then
What?
take them and then wait like 2 hours.
Everybody puts everything in the
Take
freezer.
them out, pop it right in. Beautiful.
You're just like my wife putting Pop-Tarts in the freezer.
She knows about that. Dog.
We got, so before we got hit by the hurricane, we went to the store and we got, we went to where'd we go? We went to we went to Walmart. We went to Walmart, Publix, Sam's, like everywhere. We spent a good like $400 in food preparing for this. 400 big ones in food. And I was like, I don't know. I mean, I'm completely down to spend that much money, but I know I'm not gonna get that much of the food. So, because we had our sister staying with us for the hurricane, and before that, but so we went out, got food and everything, and she's like, "Oh well, when we lose power, I'm gonna put Pop-Tarts in the freezer." I said, "What are you talking about? You cook them, you don't freeze them. That's like the opposite of what the packaging says to do."
Dog, it's like ice cream.
So she put it in there, and she put like 6 of them in there, and our power went out on like the Thursday, and it didn't come back on until like Friday night. And so I went like Friday morning to go get some Pop-Tarts and stuff. They're all gone.
That must have been that good.
I don't know.
I think there's a movie coming out about Pop-Tarts. Like about how they were made.
What?
Yeah, I think so. Like how the company was started.
It'll probably be like that McDonald's movie.
Maybe.
That was a good movie.
But I saw it. But nah. I guess kind of just from the real back in about like not to be selfish, but so like for me, how I actually like came to like how I got to where I am now as a believer and as like just in my relationship with God is really through a lot of trials, which I think most people go through. I would have to say over the past, like, I'd probably say almost, July of 2023. I've never told this story before other than to my brother the other day. But July of 2023, I was in an Airbnb. I was, even though I was having a really good weekend, life just was not it at the moment. I was in between of like, my mom just sold her house and I was staying with my mom. Then I went and I stayed with Devon for like what, it was like 2 months. Or like
Yeah, that was something too. I think it was like July, June, something like
it
that.
was like April to June, like a few days after my birthday.
It was something around there.
Yeah, it was like the end of June, first week of July, something like that. But I was staying with Devin, and then I went moved back in with my dad. But with moving back in with my dad came with just more like responsibilities financially, and I pretty much had to like get another job or do something to make more money, or like decrease like my spending, which really wasn't a lot. It's just, as you can see, I love food. But yeah, and so July, it was like mid-July, something like that, and I went on kind of like a staycation, as I would call it. And we stayed at Airbnb, which is literally like 15 minutes from my house. Actually, it was like 20 minutes from my house. And I remember just crawling, like on the floor, curled up in the shower, and just wishing that I died in my car accident I had gotten earlier that year in February. And my ex was with me at the time, and we kind of just had like a deep conversation of like kind of getting to the root of why. And I just like, though it seemed like I had everything, I think what was like really empty with me was like, one, like my mental like just like was not there. And I think the thing about it being in a, when I was in a relationship, we were in such like an open relationship to where like, meaning not like open where like anybody could come in, like no, it was like open in the fact of like we lived very vulnerable and authentic as we could ourselves. And we just had a conversation of like why. And for me, it was just like, we always talked about like triggers and like trauma responses and stuff. And I never ever talked about things like that, just because one, I didn't know, one, really like, I never thought I had trauma. But had a lot of conversations, and it kind of got to the root of like, well, I just didn't feel like I was enough. Even though I've had people tell me that, I just never felt like I was enough. And in that moment in July, I just felt like I just didn't want to, like, I just wish that I had died in that car accident. And that was kind of the weekend where I was just like, after a conversation, it's just like, I'm gonna actually really walk with God now, because like, one, I don't ever want to have that feeling again, and two, I never had a thought like that until that moment. And that kind of like wrecked me, in a sense of all these years I talked about like, man, I don't understand how like people get to that. Like, life is good. But then when you start to realize all the things that are going on around you, not even just past time, but present. Mm-hmm. And this is why like worrying is such a big issue. Because, like, if we worry about every little detail about our life, like, it's just going to cause us to worry more and more and more and more and more. We're going to get so stressed out. We're never going to be able to live a nice, peaceful life. And, yeah, things happen. We go through things, you know. Like, you get in the car accident, you get fired from a job, like you quit a job, you know, you go through a breakup, a lot of things. But you still have to look, and the Bible says in Hebrews 12, it talks about endurance and enduring suffering. Mm-hmm. You have to be willing and able to endure suffering. So that's one of the things that, like, for me, in even like last month, I got fired from my job. That's a whole nother, like, okay, well, now I'm stressing because, you know, I'm not at the level I was a year and a half, like almost a year and a half ago. But now I'm closer to my walk with God to go. I might stress about it for a little bit, but I'm still able now to go, you know, God, I leave this in your hands. Mm-hmm. And I'm not going to worry about it. It may come up in my head because I'm still human. But I just want you to know that I trust you to take care of it. And I trust that you'll lead and guide me through this. Because a few years ago, I wouldn't have said any of that. I just went through a whole mental breakdown and then quietly dealt with it myself and then moved on. But I don't do that no more, because the life verse I live by, which is Romans 12:8, I think 12:18. It's one of the 8s. But it basically just talks about just as long as I live, to live at peace with everyone as possible. I probably misquoted that, so oh well. But yeah, I want to live at peace with everybody, and to see how God's definitely been testing me with that, if that's really my life first, because I've been through some stuff recently, man, where I've lost friendships, I've gained friendships. I'm talking about, like, close friendships, like friendships I'm sure like years, like dogs, like we've been on road trips together, we like friends, like they know my deepest, darkest secrets type friends, like, and it's tough, but I think there's always a reason why things happen. And yeah, sorry, I'm very I'm a type to process things in the moment, so bear with us.
That's okay.
That's what me and Devon do.
That's what this is. Ooh, that was my stomach.
Did you not eat before you came?
I stopped in Dunkin' Donuts. I didn't get any food, but I got my wife like 4 wake-up wraps, hash browns.
Why you outing your wife like this, dog?
That's her craving now, is wake-up wraps. Literally wake-up wraps and McGriddles.
But you can't out her like that, though. This man just...
living in the moment, baby. Living in the moment.
But nah, man.
So, like, today, I don't mean to cut you off, but I really do mean to cut you off.
Go ahead.
You'll hear this said 30 million times. You'll hear this said every single person under the sun. Life's going to have challenges. Easiest thing that you can understand. Life is going to come with challenges. Whether it's you stub your toe or you come up late on... paying your phone bill or something. There's going to be challenges. Some challenges are going to be easy, like, do I eat this or this for food? Or they're going to be hard, like, does this person that I've been friends with actually want to be my friend? Or do they just want to be here for, when I do things for them, or they want me to do things for them? But life is supposed to be challenging. If it was easy, we wouldn't have, people dealing with anxiety and depression and a lot of these things that they are nowadays, which I have my personal opinion on those kinds of things. I won't say them now because I don't want to scare away most of the people that see this. You'll have to see that in the future, because I do have some really hot takes on those that most people don't agree with, but that's how I see it. We're all gonna have ways that we see it, but I think life is supposed to have challenges. If it was a cakewalk, we wouldn't have things like since 2007, the youth suicide rate has skyrocketed. I only know this because I have to do training for where I work now, and I have to go through a whole bunch of that kind of stuff, dealing with students, dealing with kids of all ages and everything. Like from 2007 to 2017, youth suicide rates have shot off the chart.
Why did I just say the word suicide on YouTube?
You can do the little scream sound effect or something like that, but I don't think you're allowed to.
Catch me if you can.
That's crazy. But anyways, yeah, there's gonna be challenges. Nobody's not gonna have challenges. Jesus had challenges. He was tempted in the desert for 40 days. There was tons of challenges where people put him on the spot. If you are who you say you are, do it. If this is true, then do this. It could be simple stuff like that.
And he showed them out every time. Every time he did it. Yeah. Mary said, yo, you got to turn this water into wine. He said, I don't want to. She said, do it. And he was like, fine. He did it. He turned water to wine. He showed out.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
But there's tons of challenges, especially for kids, the youth and kids. There's so many things that the world has told them that they have to do that is really conflicting. I don't know how this turns into challenges, but this is what we always get into. That's the main thing in the world right now, is how are the youth and the kids and the young adults, what are they going through right now? Not even the young adults, people up to 29, 28, even 30s, they're dealing with the people that grew with the internet. The internet is telling them, you have to act like this. You want to be cool? You got to do this trend. You got to stay up to date with this person. You got to do what they do step by step to be successful, to get money, to do all this, to get your name in the lights.
So what's something I would tell when I was teaching high schoolers is what I was telling them, I'm to be cool, you got to be doing something different, right? So why not follow Jesus? That's being different. Not everybody follows Jesus.
He was the most different person in his time.
But what's even crazier though too is you'd be surprised how many kids actually do believe in Jesus, and they know about him, and they talk about him, and you see it I mainly see it in just sports aspects of kids. A lot of these kids, they're praying before games. They're talking about him. They're there's programs out there Fellowship of Christian Athletes, right? They go to public schools and they go with the coaches and they talk with the team and they spread the word. So these kids know. It's just I come to believe and understand, like, as we were kids and teenagers, I think it's so hard to actually have a true relationship with Jesus. And here's why I say that. There's so much influence around us, whether it's, and now I'm not going to discredit anybody that is a teenager now, kid, that is full follower of Jesus. But here's why I say that as my opinion, is because as a teenager, you have a lot of influence around you, as well as you do as an adult. But as an adult, you get to actually make decisions. Meaning, teenager, you got your parents who are telling you you need to do this. You got your influence of your brother, your sister, your best friend, your teacher, whatever. All the other people around you there's a bunch of different influences. But when you get older, you, at least from my experiences, you're able to filter those things out. Maybe you don't have to take your dad's advice, your mom's advice anymore. Maybe you just have more freedom. And I think even too is like, now it's like you don't have to be so reliant on a human to look at and be like, hold on, let me gather the thought. You don't have to be so reliant on a human to guide you. At least that's what I've learned, and that's what I've experienced. Yeah, I still live with my dad. We don't always see eye to eye. But I know at the end of the day, I'm still gonna respect him. I still live with him. He's still my dad. I'm gonna respect him, but I don't have to take every single piece of advice he gives me.
Kind of take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah, and I'm not reliant on him anymore. I don't have to rely on him to put food in my mouth, to put a roof over my head. Like, I can pay for those things now. Well, not at the moment, but still, I just think as a teenager, it's excessively hard.
Yeah.
Because especially when you grow up in a household where you can't really express emotions. And I'm sure I don't know about you, but for me, like, I know just from even things you've told me, like, we weren't able to really express a lot of emotions. And it's what's so crazy is like now all that's coming out now. Those emotions that built up, like aggression. It's like, I feel bad for the person that really pisses me off one day. I'm gonna have to do a lot of repenting. I'm not gonna hate anybody, but like, I just personally think it's really hard as a teenager to really grasp the full concept.
Well, yeah, you can't do anything. And touching on the emotion thing a little bit, for as long as I can remember, it's always been, at least for a guy, you got to be strong. You can't shed no tears. You have to show that you're as strong as you are, so that way nothing will ever get to you. And that is like the biggest piece of crap that you can tell a kid. Because then that will show them that they can't be, they can't be emotional with someone they care for. Like, there have been tons of times when me and my wife, like, we go through the whole dating thing and everything, we get married, and like, even now I have a problem with explaining myself and explaining why I did, this, or my thought process behind it, because I just think that if I say what this is, then it won't show me like as strong, if that makes sense, or I have problem communicating my feelings. Yeah. Like, if something messes with me, or if there's something I don't like, I keep it to myself and I fight that in my head, and I tell myself I have to be okay with it. I have to, I have to deal with this later on. Or I find myself, like, if something happens and I don't like it, I'll find myself pacing my kitchen, like out of sight of everyone, out of, you know, where they can't hear me, and I'll talk to myself. I'll be like, oh my gosh, I can't. Why are they like this? I don't like that they're like this. Why are they like I do that to myself to get that frustration out, and I use it as a way of doing it to where I don't take it out on anybody else, and to where like there'll be a point where I like go to my wife and I'll be like, hey, I don't like this. I don't like how this is. But that's my way of getting it out in the moment to where I don't blow up on anybody. Because if I blow up, it gets crazy. Like, not like smacking people, going around like, I'm gonna body slam you through the table. Like, it's
the baddest thing in this world.
It's like I yell and I say my piece, and I'm not taking what you say into consideration at the moment.
Yeah, I've seen that side of Devon. It's not as good as he's talking about.
That's crazy.
But no, I'm kidding. But I would say so. Like you said, I'm very big on that too. Like the whole trying to deal with it in my head and by myself. I've learned that is not a good solution.
It's not.
And why it's not a good solution is because our minds are very advanced, and we start to make up scenarios in our head. Meaning, well, if I would have done it like this, then this would happen, and then this, and then over here, and then, oh wait, they did this to me, and I didn't. Oh, I could have did this, and I like we start to think all these different scenarios, and we might even like make up scenarios about like the actual event rather than just like, hey Devon, I experienced this today. These were my frustrations about it. This is how I felt, and that's it. Because sometimes, like me and Devon have come to conclusions about, is just talking to the person helps. Just because, like I said earlier on the pod, is just talking about it helps you process out loud. And somebody there helping you through the process, whether it's a friend, a family member, or a mentor, which I highly suggest everybody have a mentor. I just think talking about it to someone, being able to vent to that person, you know, helps. And be a good friend, and don't like always try to have a solution for the person.
The best way to help people solve is to be a listener.
Just listen.
That's what I've learned. If you know me, I listen. I let you talk it out, because 99% of the time they'll go back and they'll be like, oh, that's why.
Yeah. And what's so funny is I've had similar instances like with Devon. Like Devon would just be talking, venting, and then he'll just start talking, and he'll just keep talking, and all of a sudden he'll be like, oh yeah, I should have did this. I'm gonna do this. Okay, I know how. And it's just like, I'm not saying like one, like I've never been to therapy, but I've seen it work for others. So therapy in Jesus is good. Talking to a friend in Jesus is good. And while we're on this topic,
If you go that way, therapists are expensive, though.
that is so true. And I don't like therapists.
I would rather therapy with the guy upstairs. Talk
Why
yourself.
you gotta be so expensive?
Talk yourself through it.
Why therapy gotta be so expensive? And I don't care what nobody said. You can comment. You can reshare it. You can. I don't care what you do with this.
That's crazy.
Therapy is way too expensive. I don't like it. I don't like it. I love that this podcast has no format, because I can just do whatever I want.
It's non-scripted.
Listen, therapy.
Oh, you know what?
Be
Hold
more
on.
affordable.
I do have the script. It's right here. That's the script.
What is that?
It's a tissue.
Dog, that went nowhere. But listen, be a good friend, be a good boyfriend, be a good wife, and ask this simple
Be a
question.
good husband.
No,
Be a good girlfriend.
no.
You'd like only singled it out like on a very weird path. Be a good boyfriend and be a good wife. What about girlfriends? What about husbands?
Be a good person
There you go.
and ask this one question. Do you need to vent or do you need advice? And why I say that, before you cut me off with the whole script thing and the therapy thing I did.
I think those are two questions, but okay.
Huh?
Those can be two questions, but I'll let it pass.
Do you need to vent or do you need to... It's all in the same sentence. That's why there's the or in there.
Yeah, but you took a breath, so there would be a comma, but...
Anyway. I hate you for making me lose my train. Nope, there it is. The reason why I say ask that question is because when we get that friend who's like, hey, can you talk for a second? And you're like, yeah. And then they start telling us about everything that's going on. We immediately like, well, have you tried this? Did you do this? Like, no, that's not what I needed. I just needed you to listen. And so learning to ask that question just helps the conversation and will probably save a lot of friendships and a lot of relationships. So
That's how it goes.
just do that, man. But yeah. I think that's it.
Be a good person. Don't try to add to the darkness in the world. There's too much darkness in the world, not enough light going through.
Read the Bible. Listen to worship music. Pray. Go to the bathroom every once in a while.
You don't gotta pray a full-blown story, 100 pages with a beginning, end, and a middle.
Really?
You don't got to.
No. Read Ecclesiastes. I think I said that right.
I don't know, did you? And we don't even have to do our normal outro that we did before. We could literally just say bye. But that's not very fun.
Nah, I think y'all should still come to the harbor. The church at the harbor.
The Harbor Ministries.
The harbor.
On
Yeah.
YouTube.
It's a
Harbor
fun time here.
Ministries.
10:30
In person, 10:30.
a.m., not p.m. Don't
On
show up
Sundays.
at p.m. We won't be here.
Show up at PM, it'll be an empty parking lot.
Yeah.
Ooh, that fridge just cut on.
That's what's up.
That's crazy. If I could leave you one piece of advice, I would say don't take the moment for granted.
Don't take the moment for granted.
Don't take the moment for granted.
Yeah, man, I can leave you one piece of advice. Hey Siri, give me a piece of advice.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. What'd Siri tell you?
Nothing. She really didn't. Like,
Don't trust technology.
give me a piece of advice. She said she didn't get that. Could I try again?
Oof. Well, that's the advice. Try again if it don't work.
That's so funny. Yeah, so please don't expect these podcasts to be like perfectly good lighting, perfect camera angles, none of that. We're gonna do what we want. Things are not gonna look pretty, be pretty. Yeah.
We're not gonna stay on topic.
I'm trying to I think I want to break that mold of because we're already kind of breaking that mold in general, which is like the whole like quality of things need to be like the greatest in order for people to watch it. I don't think that's the case, because statistically, user generated content on social media is way.
Oh, that's low quality. They throw up like a super blurry picture and millions of people look at it and laugh.
I mean, like, think about it, like memes, right? Memes are never high quality. Like, it's very rare you find a high quality meme. Like, and those things are still up, and they started in what, like 2012?
Something like that. The perfect example is like the it'll be like a fish on a plate and it just spins and it's low quality and it's the one song from Shrek.
Not even that. It's the stupid. It's the fish on the plate, and then it's like the fish. And then it's like what the fish looks like inside the microwave as I'm watching it outside. Like, dog, why?
That's literally all it is.
Nah, here's what we're gonna implement right now as we speak. Favorite meme of the week is this one.
Crazy.
It's this fat dude. I'm gonna put it on the screen. It's this fat black dude. He's running away from not a dinosaur. It's what is that? It's an alligator, and it says at the top, it says, "Why you was moving so much in your sleep?" And it says, "My dream," and it's him running away from his gigantic alligator. Gosh, that's so funny, right? Thank you, appreciate you. Yeah, so. Shout out to Devon.
No way we're ending it on that.
Shout out to me. Shout out to the Lord, most importantly. Shout out to Raising Cane's for having the worst chicken tenders. Shout out to Zaxby's for having the best chicken tenders.
That could be one of our episodes. We rank the chicken tenders in the area around us.
Nah, dog. Join the Discord, please.
Link in
the link will be in the description. It'll be in the bio on our Instagram, I think. Yeah.
If Instagram ever.
I think it expired recently.
Oh my gosh.
So I gotta add that in there. But
oh my gosh.
If this video doesn't upload in time, which I don't know when we're gonna upload this, yeah,
that's crazy.
We're not dating anything, Devon. Or would you say date things, dog?
Yeah, we used to have everything stuck to a schedule, and that sucks. Because then you stress yourself over it. Why do that? Just worry about it later.
Oh yeah, don't look at my phone. Wait, they can't see the time. They can see the time. It is 12:26. I can give you that much.
12:26 on
AM or PM? Who knows?
Nah, it's. No, I guess you can't tell through the window.
This isn't even a window.
It's PM. It's 12 o'clock on a Saturday.
Midnight.
See you next time.